This is your host, Vasudha Sharma, and I bring you yet another episode of When You Meet a Leader, only on Rainier Avenue Radio World. On the show today, we have our special guest, Shania Rasheed Nalagath. She's a product manager from Microsoft. Shania is a techie from India who moved to US in 2014. Since then, she has played different roles from being in Microsoft, and companies like Amazon. She has been a leader throughout in her profession. Apart from being a product manager, she's very passionate about health and fitness. She's an amazing artist who has multiple exhibitions, and she was also crowned Miss India Washington first runner up in 2021. So I'm very excited to have her here with us and ask her a few questions. Welcome, Shania.
Hey, hi Vasudha. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Absolutely. We are very delighted to have you on the show. So I'll proceed with my first question. Tell us your story. Like, where did you start and how did you end up to where you are?
Thank you so much. So I come from one of the remote islands in India called as Andaman and Nicobar Islands. It's actually even people in India are not very much aware about that place, and you will find very few people belonging or coming here from there. So it was a pretty long journey that I carried out so far. I have always been a very ambitious kid. So I have probably been one of those people who has broken stereotypes, let it be in family or let it be when it comes to my hometown or places there, or probably through generations that has been set for girls. So I am one of the first kids actually from my family who has come overseas. So that has actually inspired or paved a path for my future generation and other cousins or relatives or even people in my hometown to inspire them to okay, somebody can go there. And I'm actually the first girl from my family who has studied so far, to even achieve this much. So it wasn't definitely an easy journey because I definitely faced resistance, but it was an amazing one. So I think that is what given my quality that I don't ever want to give up, and the fact that I'm so ambitious is what has brought me till here. And My perseverance, I would say, I don't give up so quickly. Even though I'm like I'll be at my lowest, I'll still want to get up and try, give it a last try. And then One of the other things that I have achieved so far is like my fitness journey. I was one of those, always that overweight kid in my entire life. Um, and But I have adapted this fitness journey around 4 to 5 years ago. It's just something inspired or something broke inside me that okay, I have to take care of myself. This is not how I want to live. This is not how I want to see myself, and I adapted that journey. And since then, I have lost almost 42 to 45 pounds so far and still going strong.
Oh my God, I'm so proud of you. That's something, it's
Thank
a
you.
constant goal for me to stay fit and losing weight. I don't think I'll ever get rid of that goal. That's always the number one goal. But
I know.
you're so inspiring that first of all, being an immigrant and trying to make it to where you are right now, and working with these technology giants, and being such a great professional, that itself is a major achievement. In addition to that, you pay so much weight on staying fit. So that's like, it's, I think women nowadays have proven again and again great multitaskers we are. So I'm so proud of you to share that journey with us. So I move on to my next question. What kind of challenges did you face in this journey? Like, as a woman, you came from India, you just shared with me, and were there any stressful situations?
For sure. Like I mentioned earlier, I am actually the first girl, first kid, and first child from our first girl from my family who has come so far. So one of the first things, there was definitely resistance when I even told my parents that okay, I want to go forward. My parents were supportive, but of course, coming from the community we come from, it and it is faced by a lot of South Asian communities. It's not just common in India. Um, like there was a bit of quite a lot of actually resistance on why does the girl have to go so far, why are you sending her alone to study, it's like you're sending a girl alone. First of all, she doesn't need to do so much, like why does she even need to do masters and all? It's not really required. And that too, you're sending her so far away, we don't have anyone there, why would you send her? So but then thankfully I had supportive parents who stood for me, even though they were my boys. So that is why today I'm here. So that's why I said I broke stoic stereotypes. So that's what paved the path for a lot of people. But and definitely. Apart from that, when I started my fitness journey, given I said I have faced body shaming all my life, like during teenagers, usually people are really critical, when you start getting conscious during your teenage years how you look. And I was always that overweight kid. And when I started this, everyone was the first question that I got asked, like, are you getting married? Like, why are you trying to lose weight? I'm like, just because I'm a girl doesn't, and it's not necessary that I want to lose weight only because I have to get married. Like, I know these things are changing, I would say, in bigger cities. But if you go to, I'm not generalizing that everybody thinks this way, but then, still there is somewhere this sort of mentality in a lot of small towns or, outer places, and especially from the kind of small town I belong to. Okay, the girl has to lose weight only is because she has to get married because she needs to look good. I'm like, why would I want a person who doesn't accept me the way I am? And first of all, and no, I wasn't doing it. It was way long ago when I even did not even think about marriage. It was for me. I wanted to look good. It's not looking good. I wanted to feel good about myself. I wanted to be healthy. I was on the verge of being obese. So the first question, like I said, I got, are you getting married? And the other resistance, like, why are you even trying? You have attempted this so many times. Like, you were always fat. This is useless. Like, and why do you love yourself? When I was trying, like, every day, I was making an attempt to, set that routine. That is very hard. The one of the key things in fitness is you have to maintain that consistency. And when I was trying every single day, and people are like, why are you like, why do you love yourself so much? It's okay, you look fine, you have always been like this, why do you even bother? I'm like, you don't have to bother about me. I'll try my best. If I lose, it doesn't matter. Apart from that, again, being an immigrant here, the only person, I didn't have anyone from my hometown as well to even guide me, or I had to make my own network. I had to make like find my own friends, and friends are fine, but to even establish yourself to reach to this point where I'm able to work for tech giants like Amazon, Microsoft. A touch wood, I got that opportunity. It wasn't easy. You have to build your own network. You know how things work. You have to have referrals. Need to have a good network, which is, so that guidance, I did not have anybody to help me through. I had to work myself way through that. I know people, I had a lot of people around me, my friends, who had enough, family members here or someone or the other to guide them. But I had to actually, I kept talking to people, trying to understand, made a lot of mistakes, failed, and again got up. In fact, I started as a consultant. I was a consultant. I had visa issues again, and then finally I was able to crack with these companies. Like, I was like, I have to, I wanted, this was my dream job. So yeah.
Yes, I think one of the major thing which stands out is your determination, and I think that is hugely play a role in anybody's path of success. How determined you are, and that story does stand out with the determination of moving forward all the time. So that's amazing. So tell me, I mean, one thing, I've written a book, Why She Must Lead, and I have examined a lot of different barriers women face. And in certain parts of world, still I think it's considered right to education or right to work is a privilege for women. How do you feel about that?
Um, yeah, like I said, like I had faced resistance when I wanted to study further. So the thing is, again, things are changing given our generation. People are becoming more educated, more literate. So it is changing, but still there is a huge amount of population in our in the South Asian culture probably where they still feel that girls are they have a certain role to play in the family, or they have a certain role that and they are conditioned since their childhood to be in that limit. So even I myself have girls in my family, of course, who haven't studied further and they got married at a very early age because all they had to do was they were supposed to only handle the household. That's how they have been taught, and that's how they have limited their thoughts as well. They weren't ever allowed to or made to think beyond a certain limit. They don't have any ambitions forward because that's how they have been conditioned always. So if I or someone else goes tries to break that, it is like, oh, they you people actually look down upon that, and they feel that, oh, if this girl is studying so much or if she's doing so much, she might not be able to handle the household, she probably might not be able to handle the family. But we are born multitaskers. Like you really don't. We have been doing that since generations. I have generations been doing that. So it is like impossible. I don't know why that thought comes forward, but we have that inborn talent. So that's how I feel like because of this conditioning, when we try to resist this, it is made to feel that okay, and if I am getting if I got an opportunity, I still though my family, though my parents were very supportive, but if I see in my extended family or in my hometown, or or generally in smaller hometowns, girls are made to feel, oh my god, you got this opportunity, you are so lucky. I'm like, why is it that statement even given out that you are so lucky? Isn't that the basic right for every other human? Oh, just because I'm a girl, it goes into gender biasing that, oh, you become lucky or you end up being lucky because you're getting this much education. That just doesn't feel fair.
That's true. And especially, the stereotyping, the bias you have mentioned, and a lot has changed. I won't, argue with that. But certain parts of the world still face, those inequities. Even here, it's subtle in certain ways, but we have to really highlight how the narrative needs to be, because one of the major leadership gap which I see is in the top executive positions. And that's why I wrote the book, Why She Must Lead, because when I was examining that the top Fortune 500 companies, out of those 500 CEOs, only few 32 women at that time were heading out of 500. So there was a huge leadership gap in the top position. Women are coming in the entry level, but they are not promoted fairly.
Yeah.
So, and a major reason is the bias which is associated with it. It could be an implicit bias, it could be in a very subtle way, it could be in a very direct way which you have experienced. But in any of those circumstances, we have to definitely call it out. We have to make sure that we are doing our part in highlighting the need for equality. And gender equality is hugely important. I think the progress for gender equality is not as great as it should have been in recent years. And people are still arguing about feminism, and I'm like, it's for everybody. Everybody should be a feminist. So I agree to your statements that it's important that we need to have a very fair angle to everybody, in their career path, what they're trying to achieve. And the gender roles, they need to be revisited sometimes when we are heavily biased by those. So,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that portion of your journey. And I thank Rainier Avenue Radio World. We are almost in the middle of the interview for bringing yet another episode of When You Meet a Leader. And it is such an exciting conversation I'm having with you. I will move forward with our next question. So, a lot of times when I talk about leadership with women, a topic comes up which is called imposter syndrome. It's a very a lot of people feel they are not worthy. They know nothing, or they are not fit for certain roles. Did it ever occur to you that syndrome ever occur to you, and what's your take on it?
Um, yeah. So to be honest, even when I reached out to you, or when you reached out to me, or when we connected over this fact that okay, you're gonna talk to me about the leadership role and how my journey has been, the first thing, the first thought that came to my head was, really, do I deserve this? Or like, why is she reaching out to me? Like, I did not do that such a big thing. But if you actually listen to other folks or other girls who are or if I introspect, this was something which I always dreamt of. It was once my goal, and it is a goal for a lot of people. So somewhere I know it is not I wouldn't say it's a Nobel Prize achievement, but for me as a person, this is a big achievement. And even the small wins are really important. So yes, even when I got jobs in, like, I was working for Amazon before this. So even when I like, after being a consultant and facing a lot of issues, I like I when I got that job offer, and when I got it in Microsoft, I was like, was it just my luck, or did I actually deserve? Did they interview me correctly? Do I really deserve this job? So definitely, whenever I achieve what I want, even though I have been targeting and I actually get it, sometimes it ends up for a moment I have those doubts. But then I sit, and one of the key things to break that I have always done is I sit and introspect. What all effort I have put into this to achieve this goal, like what all I have been through. So that is what helps me. You need to sit for a while and celebrate those wins, even no matter how small or big it is. You need to give yourself credit, you need to validate your feelings. So or list down all the achievements, even if it is a small win. That is very important to actually which will help you validate that yes, what you did was big enough for you, and you need to celebrate yourself. So that has what has helped me break that cycle whenever I go into that thought or rumination, thinking that, oh my god, did I actually get it by luck, or was it I do I actually deserve it? What if I'm not able to fulfill this job requirement? I just cracked the interview just like that. But no, things like this is goal. So what I have done, touchwood, are goals or career goals for a lot of people who are still in their, probably late in their careers, and still haven't been able to achieve. But touchwood, I was able to let it be in terms of, and it's not just my career, it is, let it be in terms of these yes, I went into fitness. A lot of time people keep trying, but they are unable to, maybe they're making mistakes somewhere. That's maybe in their nutrition or something. And then the byproducts of all this came was my even my crowning ceremony. I'm like, oh, if you see my video, I'm actually shocked that wow, how did I actually win this during my pageant? And then all the modeling and stuff like that, I couldn't imagine myself someone who was so overweight, and someone who was almost on the verge of obesity, who can actually get clicked so well. If photographers can or designers could actually would want to work with me. So these things, sometimes I doubt myself, but like I said, I sit and introspect. I write down affirmations, I write down all the things I'm thankful for, and those things definitely help me validate my feelings. We have to break that thought, otherwise. And best the word one of the key things that I do, even when I'm scared, like I was when you reached out or when we connected, even though I was nervous, I mean, like, I'm like, oh, I don't have so much to share about my journey, but still I'm like, I'm going to give an attempt. Let me see how it goes. Don't be scared and stand back. Even if you're scared, go ahead, do it no matter what. Just don't give up. At least you will have that satisfaction that you made an attempt. um, it is better than having that regret that you never did. And that has always been my goal, no matter what. Like, I want to make even the last attempt possible, give my 100%, so that I don't later on regret that, okay, I did not give my all when I was doing something. So that is what has kept me going even after I had so many doubts. Definitely, I face that every other day with all the things that I am
Ab-
doing.
Absolutely. I feel like imposter syndrome is such a reality, and we suffer in silence. But we
Yeah.
have to definitely tell ourselves, of everything we have achieved so far. What is bringing us closer every day to our goals, which we target for ourselves. And I always say, your life should always have a goal, and you never ever take it lightly. Find something which you really would like to do, like to achieve. And, like, in your case, it could be a fitness goal, or it could be just a personal goal of educating yourself. But those are really very, very important to get rid of the syndrome, and try to see where you are in your journey and what you need to do. So
Yeah.
I think figuring out is very important.
Yeah, in fact, it is like, I was just reading. I read articles about these things a lot. I listen to podcasts and all. So there are almost 75. It's more in women. Like in tech, it was there's a stat saying that 75% of women leaders actually face this rather than the
The
other gender.
imposter, yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, no, that's right. I agree to that. Well, moving on to another important question I wanted to ask you, because this is an API Heritage Month going on, and we are definitely throughout the month we will be celebrating. There'll be so many events celebrating API Heritage. One of the thing which, growing up in an Indian household myself, I realized that women faced a lot of guilt when they try to prioritize themselves, or when they put any time towards self-care or put themselves in any kind of personal priority. What do you feel about that? Have you ever experienced that?
Definitely. When it comes to being in in any relationship, or if I have had in been in situations where, as a girl, I am, like I said, we have certain, it has always been set in the society that this is the certain guidelines, or these are the certain rules that you guys have to follow to be that good girl, or that obedient person, or the obedient girl, that is considered the good girl. If you don't follow that, then of course you end up being a rebel. So, and what is that rebel part? That is actually basically prioritizing your needs over sometimes your parents, or sometimes your spouse, and maybe probably just a night to yourself, or probably a day to yourself, where I have my for instance, my sister, like, she has two kids. Even if she has to take out time, she's like any other human, she has to take out time between her job and her kids. When she tries to do that, like, one day when she doesn't have to run behind the kids, and she just leaves them to her husband, she definitely ends up getting these questions like, oh my god, are you not attending that for your kid? And they get that guilt in them, like, why? Like, because we have always been conditioned saying that, okay, as a woman you have to be more sacrificing. It is not necessary, you always don't have to do that. How much you need to have something in yourself before you can sacrifice for someone else. You have to have that love, or love yourself first, before you can give out that love. If you are not complete on your own, you cannot do that for anyone else. Even as a mom, or as a spouse, or as any partner, or as a person yourself, or even as a kid, because this guilt culture is there, like, and it is not gender, I would say, depending on what sort of role they are playing. Every Maybe if as a kid, or no matter what gender, they sort of get that guilt that they have to have that sacrificing thing for their parents if they have, because they did a lot and they definitely do a lot, but we don't see that in other cultures, what we see in South Asian part. And given for the women, especially because we have to be more sacrificing for the love for the family. Always family comes first, husband comes first, child comes first. They just keep themselves. You can see even our moms, like they have kept themselves before like they have kept themselves after all of us. They have made, so my mom, she wanted to study further, she wanted to finish her masters, but she couldn't because she prioritized me, my sister, my brother to go forward, and she kept her studies aside, which she still regrets. Maybe she could have actually gotten time, but she did not get that support that she wanted in those days. If she would have done that, maybe she would have asked to, give that. Probably she would have also gotten that guilt thing that, oh, why is she doing so much, leaving her kids.
Okay. Well, this is absolutely awesome that you are sharing your thoughts on this, because from a coming from a diverse background, if we have experienced it, it's important that we share it and bring it forward, and we try to energize each other in a way that it is more productive, that hey, we need to put ourselves first as well. I know we are coming from an upbringing sometimes where it's not considered a great idea, but thanks for sharing that and sharing your thoughts on it. And just, we have just a minute left before we wrap up. A quick message to women just like you all around the world who are dreaming but not sure what to do about it. What are you going to tell them?
Consistency is the key. Be determined. No matter what, it is fitness, it is your career, you have to keep trying. You don't have to give up. I know it is one of the most cliched statements, but that actually works. Consistency is the key. Even in fitness, even in your career, it will crack. Even your fate will, bend down knees in front of you if you are consistent and you are determined and headstrong enough.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being on our show today. It was amazing talking to you, and you brought up such important points. We wish you good luck and, success in everything you do. Thanks for joining, and we will be back again at Rainier Avenue Radio World with yet another episode and exciting guest. Thank you to our listeners.